Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar tonight. We're so excited that you joined us today on our snow day. I hope everyone is staying safe and warm and hasn't had to do too much cleanup. I think we got a little more coming, so pace yourselves all. Tonight, we're really excited to have a great webinar for you. We're going to take a look at some digital tools snapshots this evening. But first, before we get started, let's join as we do in all good things a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Father of light and wisdom, thank you for giving us minds that can know and hearts that can love. Help us to keep learning every day of our lives, no matter what the subject may be. Let us be convinced that all knowledge leads to you, and let me know how to find you and love you in all things you have made. Encourage us when studies and learning is difficult, when we are tempted to give up. Enlighten us when our brains feel slow, and help us to grasp the truth that is held out before us. Grant us the grace to put our knowledge to use in building the kingdom of God on earth, so that we may enter the kingdom of God in heaven. Amen. St. John Newman, pray for us. St. Isidore, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. So this evening, we kicked ourselves off here. I want to let you know that this webinar, as all our AOP Tech webinars are, they are archived on our YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube, AOP Tech on YouTube, we have not just our tutorials, but also our archives for all of our webinars. So know if you do ask a question via voice, your voice will be recorded, not your face or anything like that, but just know that that's there for us. This evening, we're going to go through 4 tools shared by myself and part of AOP Tech team. So on our webinar this evening, Bill and Aaron are here as moderators of our today's meet. So first, make sure you join that today's meet for the back channel chat. Aaron, Bill, Annabelle, myself will all be popping in and out of that to share along with you and answer any questions that you may have. Our format this evening, I'm going to kick it off in just a moment here, talking about Nearpod. Jen will be sharing with us this evening about Seesaw. Kay is with us here tonight to share about NoodleTools. And Annabelle from the AOP Tech team will also be here this evening to share about Edpuzzle. So with that, I am going to jump into sharing a little bit about why I love Nearpod. Of all of these tools, I'm really excited for this evening. But Nearpod, let me talk to you a little bit about that. So if you haven't used Nearpod before, Nearpod allows teachers to create interactive presentations to engage students directly on their devices. So it can be done via an app on your iPads, if that's what device you're utilizing in your classroom, and also can be done web-based on a laptop, on a Chromebook, or on a desktop computer, maybe in a computer lab, something of that nature. So it's really flexible, and I think that's part of one of the first things I really like about this tool, and something that I look for in tools all the time. Is it a tool that's going to be able to be flexible and kind of grow with me and my students no matter what devices we have in front of us? Some highlights of this platform include built-in formative assessment, videos, and virtual field trips. You can import and adapt existing PowerPoints, so that's another feature that I really like of it. I don't necessarily have to recreate the wheel. I most certainly can create a Nearpod, and we're going to jump into the platform in just a moment or two. But I don't exclusively have to do that. There's also pre-made content of varying types in there as well. Know that this website and this tool, I do like to let you know that it is both a free, has both free and paid features to it. So I'll give you a little bit of insight on what the free side is. That's primarily what I have utilized myself in the classroom, and now on the EdTech side. And I have to say, it's one we use a lot out at conferences. A lot of presenters have attendees in their sessions join their presentations via Nearpod to deliver content to them. So why might you think of using this tool. The content in the presentation itself is, as I said, directly delivered to student devices to follow along, which is great for whole group presentations. It could be really effective for a small group to really keep them focused and on task. And another one that I hadn't really thought of originally, but has come to my attention more and more, is that it could be a real benefit if you have students with visual impairments, particularly if you're very concerned about seating arrangement or where they might go. It delivers resources directly to student devices. So if you want to push out a video or a link, something like that, it gets delivered to students. And I know that's always a help. There are a lot of different question types in Nearpod for your interactive features. And I think that's really important. There's polls, there's open-ended questions, there's quizzes that you can target at very specific times in your presentation. You don't have to wait till the end of a presentation for formative assessment. You can, in the middle of a presentation, push out or build in a question to be pushed out so you can get some real live feedback from students in the middle of a lesson, which is great. There's integrated content, and some of this is with paid subscriptions, or you can purchase a la carte as well. But there is some integrated content from really wonderful resources like Common Sense Media and textbook publications. There's also virtual reality lessons. So if that's something that your school is really starting to dive into, Nearpod might be a great way. And those virtual reality are part of that paid feature, but something to look at as you go along, or if you explore Nearpod and really like it. Nearpod also has, which I think is very helpful for utilizing with students, it's Google Single Sign-On, so I can sign in with Google, which is always a help for me, trying to manage passwords and things like that. It's also Google Classroom integrated, and I'll show you where that is, where you're able to push out the presentation directly to Google Classroom. Students would select the link in Classroom, and then they're able to open it up directly there. They don't have to put in the presentation code. So just to give you a little bit of background, and this is where most of my experience with Nearpod comes from, is from the free side, because I really do try to milk the most I can out of a free subscription to something. So first, Google Classroom integration, that Share on Classroom button is a free feature in there. There's 6 different kinds of interactive activities that are available for free. You can engage up to 30 students in a live presentation. So if you're doing this with one kind of class at a time, you're able to accommodate that. There's real-time assessment and the ability to purchase some a la carte lesson bundles if you're looking at some of the pre-made content that's available on Nearpod as well. They have both free and paid for the bundled content there. So it's a great thing to think about what the free part is first, just so that way you're able to test out maybe in the 3rd trimester or when you move into the 1st trimester next year before investing in it. You can really get a good sense. There's a lot available for free, so you're able to get a good sense whether it's something that you want to go to your principal about, or maybe if home and school asks, what can we get? A Nearpod subscription might be a great option for you, or a larger school license. So I've popped into my Nearpod account, and I'm going to just highlight for you, and this is a rapid fire webinar tonight. So I'm just going to highlight for you a couple of really great things to kind of get started. So I'm going to go to first the Explore tab. Explore is where there's pre-made content built into Nearpod. So I'm looking at this here, and you can see there's some VR experiences. Those typically are paid ones, but I'm going to use this filter right up at the top because I can select free from there, and that's a help too. I'll select free and 3rd grade, and then I'm able to peruse free lessons that are in there. You can see that those others have a paid portion. You can purchase them for your class, but if you want to explore some free things, you're able to do so. When I find something for free that I like, I'm going to take a look at this one here, this editing and revising. Down here at the bottom, this is actually already in my library, but if it was not, it would say add to my library. And that's all I have to do to make it accessible to me. If you look in the upper top left-hand corner, that's where the My Library um, area of work is. I can easily add it into that portion there. I can preview it beforehand to see what's in the lesson. This has 28 slides. I can use what I need. I'm also able, when it's in my library, to edit it if I need to, which is, again, a nice feature. But that filter really does help me to be able to kind of take a deep look into the free side first to help me determine if free meets my needs or if I consider a subscription. I also have the ability to filter by standard, which is fantastic. You can see that the Pennsylvania State standards here, the Next Gen Science standards are in here, core standards. So another way that you can help ensure that you're meeting student needs when it comes to that. So maybe, you know, you're looking at your second graders and you know that they need a little extra boost in one specific area. And it's a great tool to take a look at what's available via Nearpod. I'm going to pop over to my library, and this is where my content lives after that. So revising and editing that I added earlier is there. This is one I built off of a PowerPoint. It was persuasive techniques for my 7th and 8th graders. And what I did was I just dragged and dropped. That's how easy it is to bring in a presentation into Nearpod. I dragged and dropped it in there. Know that when we're looking here, and I'm going to launch a live lesson in just a quick second, it also has student pace. That is not a free feature in there. Live sessions are included for free. I just like to be transparent in that so everybody is aware. So you can see when I jump into this Nearpod lesson, it gives students a code. So they could go to the Nearpod website and put in this code. But here's also this Google Classroom button. By selecting that, I'm able to, because I'm signed in, and this is a great benefit of Google single sign-on, select my class, create an assignment, announcement, or question with it, select go, and you can see what it would post for students. I would give it a title here, but students would be able to just select this, and you can see by that URL, the pin is already built in. So if you've got younger ones and you're using Google Classroom to help push out links and things like that, Nearpod is fantastic. One of the features I really like, and I'm just going to pop back through a technique here. You can see I have a couple different things built in. But this piece right here, this was actually an interactive part of this lesson. What technique do you think would be best for a political campaign? On the student device, this was an open-ended question. On the student device, they would have this question that's up top here, and they'd have a spot to answer. If it's multiple choice, they'll receive the question and answer choices on their screen. What you see on your screen is a report of that in real time. So great way to kind of get at whether your students are meeting the needs in their lesson, are getting what they need or not. I am able to go back to the results of a Nearpod lesson. So maybe I'm not able to look at that formative assessment in a moment. I can go back to the reports at any time and see those lessons there. Lastly, in our quick view of Nearpod, create. This is where I can build my own Nearpod lessons. If I hit add slide, apart from uploading PowerPoints and things like that. So you can see here, I have a drag and drop and an upload files if I was converting it from a PowerPoint. Otherwise, I could build right in Nearpod itself. I have the ability to add content slides, add web content, which is links and things like that, or activities. And here are the few that are, or some of the ones that are available for free: open-ended, poll, quiz, draw it, which is really great for your visual learners, collaborate. Those are available there for free. I can build in, oops, lots of different pieces to make my presentations very engaging to students and really help them to focus on the content that I want them to give and get the feedback I need to be an effective teacher. So that is a really brief look there at Nearpod. And I hope that maybe you consider it. Again, a great way to start is to do a join for free, do a couple tests maybe in the third trimester, or if the third trimester is a little hectic. I know that as I see the snow outside, we're all feeling that pressure as we're at the end of March already, maybe the first trimester, and then you can assess where you go from there. And if you'd like any more information about how the accounts work, you can always feel free to reach out, or the AOP Tech team as well on that. So that's our quick view of Nearpod. So I'd love for you in today's meet, if you haven't chatted about it already, who's using Nearpod? What do you like about it? Or what questions you have, and I'll be happy to pop in there and answer some questions. But now I'm going to hand off that presentation to Jen from Visitation VVN to talk about Seesaw. So Jen, the controls are coming to you in just a moment here.
Great, thank you. All right.
And we see your screen, so you're good to go.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alyssa. I'm Jen Barkowski. I teach technology for Visitation BVM School in Montgomery County. I teach kindergarten through 8th grade students, and I use Seesaw with grades kindergarten through about 4th grade. But you can use Seesaw through kindergarten through 8th grade or even higher in high school too. Right here on the first slide that I have the link to the Seesaw website. So that's where you can kind of explore while I'm going through and presenting if you would like. So a quick overview of my plan for today. I was going to go through quickly what is Seesaw, how students, families, and teachers can use Seesaw, and then an overview of the Seesaw website. And I'll show you the teacher view on that part. But right over here where you see the two apps, the Seesaw class app is for teachers and students, and the family Seesaw app is for just the families at home. So what is Seesaw and why should teachers use it? Seesaw is a student-driven digital portfolio where students can independently document their work. Students can control what goes into their portfolio. I find that this could be a great resource for teachers when they have parent-teacher conferences, or even if students are invited to the parent-teacher conferences, and they could kind of take a lead and take ownership for their work and show their parents what they've been working on so hard throughout each and every day. Seesaw has a simple login for students. I typically use the QR code. I display the QR code up on the smart board and then the students just lift their devices and they link right into the Seesaw class. You could also put up a text code, which is just a variety of letters that Seesaw creates for you. Or you can have students log in through their email. Seesaw is available on iOS, Android, and Kindle Fire devices. And you can also use Seesaw on Chrome, Firefox, that's on any really browser. So what the students can do on Seesaw. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see a picture of the screen that's what the students will see when they first log in, when they go to add something to their journal. They can add a photo, video, drawings, files. They can even take notes within Seesaw, and they can even attach a link to maybe a website that they've been working on. And they can create the photo and video from within the app, or they can upload it from something like their camera roll or their computer. but they can also annotate on top of a photo or a document. I really like this because if you are a science teacher, you can label different parts of maybe the bee or whatever it might be. You can label, you can caption something within the photo, that sort of thing. And then students can record their own voice over a photo or a drawing, so they can explain how they work through a math problem, that sort of thing. And then over here on the right-hand side with this picture, there is a where students can drag and drop files. They can select files from the computer, and then it also allows students to drag from their Google Drive, and then they can upload videos. But students can share, will have the option to share with the class or add it to their own portfolio. Students can also add their own work with the class or add to their own portfolio and add work to their teacher-created folder for better organization. This is great, and I actually find this very helpful just to see what the students have done maybe over the different trimesters. As a technology teacher, I would like to see kind of what they've accomplished throughout each trimester. Maybe as a classroom teacher, you could kind of go through and maybe have a folder for science, a folder for social studies, and keep track of all of, keep a portfolio for really all of the different subjects. And then students can like or comment on other student work only if the teacher enables this option. Now, I use this option just to kind of teach students how to appropriately comment on student work, and it's kind of a closed and safe environment to learn how to do that. And any comment or like has to be approved by the teacher, or you can set that as an option. It has to be approved by the teacher in order for that to happen. For the Family Seesaw app, parents can only view their child's work and can only have access to your classroom if you invite them, if the teacher invites them. And then families can add voice comments and text comments to certain student work, but they cannot add their own individual items to a student journal. And then they can also privately message the teacher. And then the teachers, you could set up all of your classes for free. I have about 10 classes because I teach kindergarten or pre-K through 8th grade. And it's great. There is a premium version, but that version actually just entails a section where you can add different standards and benchmarks for students to accomplish, and can kind of track their progress throughout. But I've been using kind of Seesaw as a blog of student work and to kind of keep the parents engaged in what's going on in the classrooms, and then for students to kind of go back and see the journal, which can all be done underneath the free version. So I'm going to focus on the free version for today. And then you can also, teachers can also invite co-teachers. So I typically either invite the classroom teacher onto my Seesaw, or the classroom teacher invites me onto their Seesaw, and we can create, like I said, different folders to keep things organized for the students. And you can also invite parents to see their child's journal. You, as a teacher, you can view the entire class journal, or you can choose to view an individual student's work. So you don't have to scroll through all of the students' work at one time to find one assignment. Teachers can create assignments and announcements within Seesaw and send messages to families, and even create your own blog. And lastly, for this presentation part, I wanted to share with you a link to an article that I found on the Seesaw website that has a Google document that has 100 ways students can use Seesaw, that was actually put together by Seesaw ambassadors. And I was going through it, and I saw a few that I personally use, or that I know others teachers have used. I know I personally use practicing commenting and giving feedback to peers. Students demonstrate a skill, capturing stages of projects in art and science. We've been working with the Ozobots in 2nd grade, and I've had the students take pictures of their work for the first stage and upload it to Seesaw. and then they're going to be working on their final product and upload their coding paths up onto Seesaw as well, so the students can kind of see the progress and how their paths have developed. So definitely check that out if you're looking for more suggestions, but definitely reading teachers, I think, is a great way for students to give a book talk, even creating class blog, that sort of thing. All right, and then I'm going to switch over to the Seesaw web page, so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So I created a test website or class just to show you, because I didn't want my student information out there. But over here on the left-hand side, if you'll follow my cursor, is my name, and actually within, if I click on that, you'll be able to see the list of all of your classes, so you can kind of bounce back and forth from one class to another. And then right in the middle here, where you see the picture of the Ozobot paths, you'll see student A and B on the left-hand side. This is the class journal, and you'll notice this is the class journal feed. And you'll notice on the right-hand side where it says class journal and it's highlighted in gray, that's what we're viewing right here. But if I click on student A, that's how I see only their student work. And then if you take a look right down at the bottom here, underneath this class journal, student A and student B, you'll see where you can access the student code that has the QR code, or even the letter code in there as well. That could be projected up onto a projector, smartboard, whatever it is. And then this is where you go to invite the families. But probably most importantly for students and teachers, this is the similar interface of what it's going to look like for students when they first sign in. They can go right here to add anything to their journal, so they'll click the plus sign. Teachers will have the option of sharing an activity or sending an announcement. Students will only be able to post to a journal, and teachers can post to a student journal if the students aren't able to quickly post it right away. So that is kind of the main part. And if you notice, this is the first screen that'll come up. You can add a photo, video, drawing, add file, note, or a link, and it'll kind of take you through the steps there. Right up here where it says journal, activities, inbox, skills, and blog, that's kind of, I think of it as the toolbar. Journal is where it's going to show the journal. Activities, this could act as the library of activities that you have for your class. And there's even an activity library that some teachers have posted activities on as well. There aren't too many, but it's definitely worth giving a look. And then over here in inbox, this is where you'll see student announcements, family announcements, and even any private messages between you and family members will appear here. And then skills, this is where I was kind of talking about the premium version, where if you wanted to upload standards, that sort of thing, that's where you would go. And then if you wanted to add or attach a blog to your Seesaw classroom, that over here that is where you would add it to. And then up at the top, where the top right corner where the wrench is, this is where you are going to find all of the settings for your class. So this is probably where you're going to go when you first set your Seesaw classroom up. You'll give it a class name, grade level, and then manage teachers is where you can add any co-teachers. You choose the fun stuff like class theme and class icon. And then right under here, underneath the title that says students, the student sign-in mode, I'm going to show you that really quickly. There are 3 options. So you have the email, Google login, which is recommended for 4th grade and above. And there are 2 other options with class code on shared devices and class code on one-to-one devices. I personally use the shared devices. The difference between the 2 is for the one-to-one devices, students, when they sign in, they can only add assignments or add work to their own personal journal. They will not be able to tag or attach another student to that assignment. In these shared devices, I personally like this because we do a lot of group projects in my class. So I like for the students to have the option of sharing it with another student. And when students personally go to log in, they're going to be able to see their own that work as well in their journal when they go back for conferences or something like that. So that's where the sign-in mode is. And then manage students, this is where you can add all of your students to your class list, and you can just paste the class list and it'll upload. Pretty simple. And then students' likes and comments. So this is where you could turn that off if you didn't want students to comment or like other student work. And I always have this one on where it says new comments require approval, just so I can approve them before anything goes public to the class. And then there's also another button that says students can see each other's work. This is kind of the community that I was talking about. It'll create a community way for students to kind of interact with each other, or they can just view student work to get an idea of how, kind of compare themselves and see where they stand with their peers and what other students are doing. And it's just another outlet for them to kind of peer review or just see what the other students are working on and what they're proud of. And then all new items require approval. I typically leave that on, especially with shared devices in case they accidentally upload something that is not theirs. Families, enable family access. You could also do this without families involved. You could just keep it in-house, just only have this open for your students. But I do like the family option so that they can see what's going on in the class. And then the rest of it is kind of pretty straightforward. The family likes and comments and sharing. You can enable that. You could require approval first. So Seesaw is a great tool for classroom teachers, even specials teachers, to invite the families in to see what they're doing in class, and also to kind of connect students and for students to just take pride in their work and to really share their work out. And like I said, at conferences, I think this would be a great tool for classroom teachers to use in conferences to kind of show their work and their growth throughout the year. So I believe that's all I have for you for Seesaw. What I can do is I'll take a look at today's meet. If you have any questions, feel free to add questions on there and I'll be happy to answer. So Alyssa, I guess I'll be passing this back to you and then it'll be on to Kay.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen, for sharing that. I know that Seesaw is a well-loved tool. While we're passing off to Kay here, Aaron, do you want to give a little bit of a shout out of what's going on in today's meet?
Certainly. So in today's meet, we definitely started out talking about the snow, and then it really moved into discussing how we can use both Nearpod and Seesaw in the classroom. A lot of great questions, and some links were dropped in there. And if you're just kind of lurking, if you're there, pop over and just say something, and that way we'll know you're there. And feel free to share us if you use some of these tools, or you have experience, or your next door neighbor has used one of them. Let us know in the chat window, and that way we can kind of discuss back and forth. But it's been some really great conversations, so I certainly encourage and hope that that's going to continue through the rest of the webinar.
Awesome, thanks. And Kay, the controls are there. I see your screen, so take it away. Thank you, Kay.
Thank you. I like to make the teachers aware of NoodleTools, and it is a free, comes free to the elementary schools through the high school subscription that they have. And when you log in, there's a certain login web address that I'll put up in the today's meet to look for you, and make sure it says welcome Archdiocese of Philadelphia user, and then click register if you don't have an account. And students can register and start immediately using NoodleTools. And why within NoodleTools you have the power to make note cards, and note cards stay linked to the sources that you're looking at or making and creating. It's easy to quote, summarize, and cite. You can integrate your own ideas and examples, and you can organize ideas and information before writing your paper. And the types of notes that you can take are quotations. You can copy and paste from a source in case you want to look back. You paraphrase or summarize and retell the main ideas in your own words, and your own ideas, analyze, questions, evaluate. And this is all at NoodleTools.com. Now I like to go to the NoodleTools website. Okay, I'm just going to get out of this one and go to the NoodleTools website. And you can log in once you have an account created. It will automatically take you to the diocesan website, NoodleTools site. And when you're in NoodleTools, the teacher has two tabs, the My Project and the Inbox tab. On the My Projects tab, all of your projects are listed. A student only has the My Projects tab. And I recommend that all teachers make an account in their own name as a student so they can see exactly what a student would be looking at when they're citing sources or working on projects that a teacher has assigned. When you want to create a new project, you type in, I usually start the title for the project with my last name, Burgess. And I'm going to do a project about Mount Rainier. And I put the grade level because I work with all grades. We leave it at MLA and the advanced level, and then we click submit. NoodleTools can be used with first graders come January after they know parts of a book and the title page and finding the author and things like that. Once I've created my project, I can go into an inbox and I can create a new inbox, and I'll name that the same as the Mount Rainier, Burgess, Mount Rainier, grade 8. Now this can be shared with any of your teachers, and I'm going to share this with one of our teachers. And this is shared by the teacher's NoodleTool ID. Once I've done that, I can go down here and put in the description. This is a grade 8 project. And then I can click submit. And now my project inbox is set up. I can go back to my project and open my project. On this page, the dashboard, the student can share with the teacher their work that they have done so the teacher can go in and comment on it. All they have to do is click the share project box and begin typing in the first 3 letters, and a drop-down menu will come with the project inbox title. You don't see that now because I am the creator of the project, and it doesn't allow you to save or share with yourself. So the student would just click done. I'm going to close and go up to sources. And here I can start creating my citation. And when I go in to create my citation, I'm citing 2 websites today. And When I go there, I can click on to the link and go back. I'm citing a website. Where is my source? It's on a website. What is it? It is a page, a web page within a website. So now I can take that URL and paste it. I can go back and see that there is a publication date, and I would be able to insert that into the NoodleTools by just using the drop-down menu and putting in, I'm just going to do whatever is there for a time constraint. And I'm accessing this website today. I know there's an author, so I can go in and find the author's name. I'm just going to copy and paste the whole name. And then go in and take out what I don't need. NoodleTools is a great tool, and it's something that all of us wish that we had when we were in college or in high school. And now you have to put in the web article. And again, you can copy and paste the article. Title. And when I go to click out of it, the student would see, if they see a yellow triangle, they know that there's a mistake or something has to be corrected. And this is telling me that the first letter of every word in the title needs to be capitalized. So I can go in and just correct each of those. And once we do that, we click out that arrow, that goes away. The name of the website, when I go back, I can see that the name of the website is Los Angeles Times. So I can type that in. And now I need the publisher. I go back to the website, scroll down, and the publisher is next to the copyright date here, and it is the Los Angeles Times. So I can go back in and insert that. And they don't necessarily have to put in the publisher, but if they can find it, they can. Now my citation is finished. I can click Save. And there's my citation. I can print it and export it into my report when I am finished. But I want to make a note card right now, so I'm going to go to Note Cards. And I'm going to click New. And I can paste in information from this website that I want to paraphrase. I can use the Command V and click OK. And I can paraphrase this into my own words, which I have done before. So I can go in for time and just paste that into and OK. Then they can put in their original thoughts if they would like to, and you can even put in a tag. And now I can click Save. I can create an outline. I can go up here and edit and type in Mount Rainier Glaciers. And then I can drag this over, but before I drag it over, I want to edit it. I did not put in my title. I can click and select my source to tie it and link it to my card and my paper. Then I can go in and do a subtitle. And I can drag that note card over. First I have to clear it, so I can drag it and just drop it in there. And now it has started creating my outline. I can go back to my project and I can add another source if I would like, as many sources as I want. Like I said, this is a neat way to do it. You can export, print and export into a Word, into Google Docs. I have my students export to Google Docs. And when they export it to Google Docs, it will come up with exactly what a works cited paper should look like. It has the title. Everything is put in there in the order it should be in. If they needed to insert a picture into their, go into edit on the, on the note card. If I go into edit, I could come in here and insert a picture into this by going to the website, clicking on the picture, getting the image address, coming back, and then going up here and clicking on and hitting the command V. And then I have already uploaded the picture onto my desktop. I can just go down and find that. Too many things on my desktop. Choose file. Oh, I know. I put it in here. And there's my picture. I can open it. And when I click OK, it inserts the picture into my note card. That's about it for NoodleTools. It's a free source that you can use with grades 4 to 8. And if you're not registered, I can send you the link to register and get started with NoodleTools. That's it.
Okay, that is awesome. I have to say I love NoodleTools. I will give a plug for it as well. Used it all the time with my students. So great tool. Thank you for sharing all that awesome information. Annabelle, you are up to chat about Edpuzzle. So I'm going to pass it to you right now. And I'm hoping, oh, I see which one it is there. Hopefully it made its way to you.
I think I'm seeing it. Let's see. You able to see my screen?
I am.
Okay. Wait, I lost. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. So hi, everyone. I'm here to share briefly about a great video tool called Edpuzzle. I first learned about it at a workshop a few years ago, and I started exploring the site right away and quickly found that I was bringing it into my classroom. And my students were really engaged, and anytime I mentioned that an Edpuzzle lesson was coming, they became very excited. So I'm trying to spread the word about this platform as much as I can because I think quality videos can be an engaging and an effective resource in all the subject areas. And more often than not, students today are leaning towards video, specifically YouTube videos. And research is showing that 80% of today's students are using YouTube videos not only for entertainment purposes, but to help them with their schoolwork. So if we as educators are using quality videos along with platforms such as Edpuzzle, I think we can provide students with meaningful learning opportunities. And it's one where they can learn at their own pace. They can gain a deeper understanding of the subject content and receive immediate feedback on their progress. So what is Edpuzzle? Well, it's a free, and I think you're getting that tone throughout all the platforms that we're using. And it gives you the ability to use existing videos from a wide range of sources, probably some that you've already used in your classrooms already, such as YouTube, Khan Academy, and even Discovery Education. I know many of the Archdiocesan schools have subscriptions to that platform. So you can use those videos or even use your self-created videos to create engaging video lessons. So if you're looking for a way to flip your classroom, this platform is a fairly simple tool that can help you with that transition. Edpuzzle gives you the ability to embed questions throughout the video for quick formative assessments, and you can gain valuable data for each of your students once they submit their work. Another great feature, which has been a common theme and question throughout the evening, this does integrate with Google Classroom. So you can submit lessons, you can create your classrooms and your teacher accounts with your Google sign-in. And even better, students can access Edpuzzle on any mobile device. So if they're using iPads or their cell phone, they can just simply download the app and it's absolutely free. So I'm going to head on over to edpuzzle.com. And it's a fairly simple platform to use. There's not a lot of bells and whistles here, which is what I like about it. So when you sign up, if you're a new user, you're going to sign up for a teacher account. And one thing that I do want to point out, there are a lot of resources, helpful videos that you can go in and watch, a lot of videos to how to edit your lessons and how to push them out to students. So I may not be able to get to a lot of the features, but again, if you explore the site and watch the resources that are available here, you'll be able to pick it up, no problem. So I'm going to skip this tutorial and sign in with my Google account, and it will bring you to the main dashboard. Now here are your main menus, your search, my content, which is where you're going to save all your video lessons, and my classes. You can create classes two ways, one manually, but this is the nice feature. If you're using Google Classroom, you can go ahead and import them directly, and it will add the classes and your students. So your classrooms will appear here and your students will be here. Once you begin assigning video lessons, they will appear here, and you can add a due date. And then once your students start completing the lessons, this will start changing, and you'll be able to see what percentage of your students have completed and submitted the lessons. This is where the student data is housed. You'll be able to see how many students have completed the lesson, how long it took them to watch the video, how many times the student went back and watched different sections of the video. And then you'll be able to see the responses to the questions. So this is a really nice feature, and this is where you'll be able to track student progress. And you can also post any assignments directly into Google Classroom. So really quick, I'm going to go ahead over to the search feature and show you how easy it is to go ahead and create a video lesson. You can search for any topic, and again, this is for any subject area, religion, math, social studies, science. You can put in a subject topic, so I'm going to say if I want to find a lesson on fractions. And right now I'm in the Edpuzzle channel, but if I'm not seeing anything that I like at the current time, I can go ahead and search any of the other Edpuzzle channels. So here is YouTube, and it will pull up, whoops, let me put in fractions, and it will bring up any type of YouTube video that has fractions. so you can take a look and see which ones would be for your grade level and for the content that you're looking to share. So I'm going to select this one. We want to learn about fractions. You can go ahead and preview the video, and once you decide that this is the video for you, we're going to use it. And then it opens up into the Edpuzzle video. This is where all the Edpuzzle magic happens. Here are your toolbars that you can use to create your video lesson. And the first one is the scissors. If you want to begin or use only a portion of the video, you can drag these editing bars to where you want the video to start and end. So the video will only play what's in between these slider bars. This option here, the audio track, you can record your own voice and overlay it on top of the video's audio. So if you want the students to hear just you explaining the video, that has the option there. You can record audio notes if you want to record an introduction to your video or an ending, a conclusion to wrap up the lesson. You can record that. And then this is the biggest piece that won me over. This is the tool where you can embed your questions. So if you click on the question mark and then anywhere along the video, you can go ahead and click that and your editing box will appear. You have 3 choices. You can insert open-ended questions, you can insert multiple choice questions, or you can just leave a comment for your students. So a lot of different options here. You can give feedback. So in these answer boxes here, you can click on feedback and you can type in great job or correct, so that your students, once they submit their questions, they'll be able to get instant feedback. One thing to note with any of these options, you can also insert links and pictures. So one thing that I did like to use with my students when I was giving them feedback, I would insert an image just to give them that little extra pat on the back. So I just put that in there, and then once they submitted their answer, they'd see that. So a little fun, little way to engage students as they're watching the video. Once you have all your editing complete, you can save it and then finish it. And then it brings up an assignment box. You can select which classes you want to assign this to. And here's a great feature as well, your teacher superpowers. It defaults to prevent skipping. This ensures that your students watch the entire video and answer all the questions. So it will stop wherever you embedded a question, and it won't let them continue watching the video until they submit an answer. Love that. So that defaults to prevent skipping. I don't think I've ever had an instant where I unchecked that. So that's a great feature. You can also include a due date if you want to make sure that they submit it by a specific time. And then all you do is click assign. It will then appear in your assignments for your class. Now, there's a lot of features here that you might want to investigate. You can watch the video as a student. You can also delete it. But what I want to do real quick, one last thing, is show the progress, the data that you can see for your students. You'll be able to see who watched the video. If you've graded it, it will show their grade. When did they last see the video, and if they turned it in on time. You can also see the question response, their responses. The other thing, if they are, let me go back to students. If they're watching it in class, you can also see a live real-time progress bar. So this will update, a student was watching it, they weren't watching it, and whether or not they've responded. So again, this is where you can see a lot of the data, see how the students are progressing through the assignments, and a way to really engage them. So I definitely would recommend that you check it out. If you go to your account and click on teachers, there are so many resources available, videos, getting started, getting the most. I would definitely recommend checking it out, and hopefully you'll be able to use this and integrate the videos with your students for an engaging lessons. So if you have any questions about Edpuzzle, go ahead and pop it into the today's chat and I will answer them. And with that, Alyssa, I'm going to send it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Annabelle. That was awesome look in. And I didn't know that they added in that in-class live feature. That's so cool.
Yep.
Erin, I'm going to pop it to you really quick. I know that we're at the end of our webinar time here. Just for a quick recap on today's meet.
So today's meet, there's been a lot of really great conversation in here tonight. And I too, and then several people in the chat room did mention about the live feed. So that's a really cool feature. One of the questions that came up with NoodleTools was a discussion about integration with Google Classroom, and there's a couple great links in there that talks about that the students' logins for Google. If you have a Google G Suite School account, they can use that for their NoodleTool account as well. So one less password they have to write down and remember, which is always a great thing. So, and today's Meet chat room will be open for the next couple days. So feel free to pop back in there if you want to go back and grab some of those links or see some of the conversation. It will be available to you. So thank you all for joining us. I'm going to pass it back over to you for that closure.
Thanks so much, Erin. And as Erin mentioned, today's meet is going to be open except for 30 days there. So feel free to jump back into that, grab those links about the different integration pieces. There's some great links there for NoodleTools. And there. So thank you. I want to give some thank yous. Thank you to Bill and Aaron for moderating that today's meet a chat window there and really keeping that conversation going. And of course, most definitely thanks to Jen, Kay, and Annabelle for sharing awesome tools today. This is 4 awesome tools. I hope everyone walked away with something new to try, or if you're utilizing these tools, a new tip, trick, feature, something in there for you. Of course, know that you'll get a follow-up email from the GoToWebinar platform about 24 hours from now that will have resource links, linked to this archive video, which will also be on YouTube. And feel free to share those in your school communities with other teachers. You can be an evangelist for any one of these tools. If you try it out in the end of the year here and love it, spread the word. And with that, I want to remind you too that next month is our last webinar of the school year. Can you believe that? We're already there. So registration is on our website. It will be another EdTech tool roundup just like this, but with brand new tools for everyone there. And as always, you can follow AOP Tech on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, on our website. You can join our Remind group. So lots of ways to connect with us. And if there's anything you need tech-wise, you know to reach out to us at any time. So thank you for your time this evening. Hope everyone stays safe in the snow. And if you have anywhere that you have to get to tomorrow, if school's open or anywhere else, I hope you have safe travels along your way. Thanks for joining us tonight.